All right, guys, welcome to this edition of Inside the Friendly Confines. And today, my guest, the voice of the Cubs, broadcaster Len Kasper. Len, thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you, Ryan.
Yeah, this is fun. We're going to take a little stroll around the bases here.
I've never done it.
And we're going more of a home run trot speed here, so it kind of feels
I gotcha.
nice. You know, like you hit one over the left field fence.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Never had that feeling. I always wondered what it would feel like.
You're really good at calling it, though.
Well, you know, home runs here with the crowd and everything, and the basket and the wind, and it's different here than other places. It's interesting. You got to kind of wait sometimes because you're never quite sure, you know?
Yeah, all of a sudden you think one's gone and the left
Right.
fielder's grabbing it.
Right, right.
Now, how did you practice that? Is that a call you had to have a little bit of work?
Yeah, you do a little bit. I think the main thing for me with calling a home run is just try to make it genuine and make it in the moment. And every once in a while you'll mess it up, but I'd rather have it be that than to have them all sound the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, game-ending home run isn't the same as solo homer when you're down 6-1.
Right.
You know what I mean? John Lester hit a home run this year, and I mean that's a big deal, right?
Yeah, that was a great call. I love that because you could feel it in your voice. It was almost like you were just so happy for John, and the genuineness came out in that.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You might remember the game against the Mets. It was an early season game, wind just blowing in, probably 45 degrees. And I remember we said, and Bob Brenly was my partner at the time, nobody's going to hit a home run today. And Derek Lee in the 10th inning hit one right out in left center, and it was like the impossible has happened.
Right?
You know? You might have blown the save, but got the win that day.
I did. I got the W. I thanked Derek Lee after the game. I said, "Hey, man, thanks for nobody coming up to my locker. You know,
Exactly.
They're all going to you. So that's perfect." Yeah, it's
Sadly, I remember that. I don't have a good memory, but I do now remember that. Yeah, you were involved.
well, it's kind of neat too. Like people don't know this, but you know, Derek and I played together in Florida. You were also down there working for the Marlins.
Yes.
You know, and now here you are in Chicago, man, for over a decade now, and really establish yourself as this incredible broadcaster for the Cubs, and you know, really live and die with the Cubs. You know, it's fun to see how much you bleed Cubby Blue.
Well, as you know, there's nothing quite like it, and when you get here, you get immersed in it. And I remember the first game I did in 2005. You know, I walk into this park, and I'd been here as a visiting broadcaster, but everybody here was like, "Hey, Len, how you doing, Len?" All the people work here, the fans, they all knew who I was before I ever broadcast a game here, and that blew me away. And as much as I loved Florida, and I know you loved it down there too, you know, it's a much different vibe, and very few people recognized who I was down there, but you come to Chicago, and it's a really big deal. It's humbling.
Yeah, and on top of it, you not only get to call the game, you get to be up there for the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah.
You know, and as you know, I kind of like the holy cow, Harry Carey of it all.
Right.
But you get to meet so many people, celebrities, sports stars, entertainment people. You know, is there one moment that you've had where you were up there and you're doing a 7th inning stretch when you're like, oh man, this was absolutely the greatest? A guest that you had that was knockout.
Well, there are a lot. The one I'm going to pick for the purposes of this question is Bob Odenkirk. Bob grew up in Naperville.
Yeah.
And you know, he had a great career as a comedian. He was on Mr. Show, which was one of my favorite shows back in the 90s. But he didn't really become a megastar until Breaking Bad and then Better Call Saul. And I got to know Bob a little bit, and when he did the stretch, it was the greatest thing he had ever done. And to see the look on his face and the fact that I had a little part in kind of helping nudge him to get here really made me feel good. And I know that it's one of the greatest days of his life. So that one was really special for me.
Right on. Well, thank you for taking a stroll around the bases
Kidding
with
me?
you.
Anytime, buddy.
All the Cubs fans love hearing that Len Kasper voice out there. So once again, a little stroll around the bases on Inside the Friendly Confines with Len Kasper right there.